All right, now we're going to learn about the executive branch, the president. Article 2 of the Constitution describes the job of the executive branch. This branch executes or carries out laws. The president heads this branch, which also includes the vice president and many departments in charge of carrying out the government's day to day business. Article 2 of the Constitution describes who qualifies to be president, what power the office has, and what happens if a president misbehaves. It also explains the Electoral College, which is the process of how the president is selected. All right, powers of the president. The men who wrote the Constitution did not want the United States to have its own kind of king, so they tried to limit the president's power. For example, the Constitution gives the president the power to either approve or reject the bills passed by Congress. So the president can say no, and that's called a veto. At the same time, the Constitution gives Congress the power to override the president's veto by a 2/3 vote. So if a bill gets sent to the president and he vetoes it and says no, it goes back to Congress and they re-vote on it, and they need 2/3, so 66%, in order to pass it without the president. The Constitution requires the president to report to Congress on the State of the Union. That's a speech or address he gives each year, or he or she. Presidents use these speeches to suggest ideas for new laws. The president has the power to call Congress together for a special session. This power is especially useful when the president believes that there is a national emergency. The president shares power over dealings with foreign countries with Congress. The president can sign treaties with other nations, but 2/3 of the Senate must approve them. As commander-in-chief, the president is in charge of the nation's military, such as the Army and Navy. So he's the head of the military, but only Congress can declare war. So you see how they check each other and keep each other in balance? As chief executive, the president has the power to nominate or suggest people for important jobs in government. For example, the president nominates cabinet members, ambassadors, and federal judges. However, the Senate has the power to accept or reject the president's choices. So the president nominates people, Congress has to approve it. The president has a special power to grant pardons or forgive people who have been found guilty of crimes against the United States. A pardon is a release form of punishment. So you can look at some cases and let people out of jail ahead of time, pardon their crimes against the U.S. Pardon means to forgive. Even though the president is only the head of the executive branch and not a king, most people see the president as the leader of the country. In many ways, especially with relations with other countries, the president represents the United States. But you can see how the president is not a king. He does not have total power. He shares it with Congress, the legislative branch, and also the Supreme Court, which we'll read about next, the judicial branch. All right, so answer these true, false. Read about the president's powers again, and then answer that short answer.